Hey everybody, this is our first day back in courtroom where masks are optional, not mandatory. Feel free to do as you wish. If you'd like to wear a mask, certainly you may, and if you'd like to social distance, you may do that as well. It's never a very crowded courtroom. I'm going to reset by going and getting a little glass of water. Counsel, have you had a chance to talk this morning?
Your Honor, we did just talk,
Okay.
and Ms. Oriani does not want to settle this.
Okay. All right, then I will be right back and we can get started.
Your Honor, before you leave, I do have a thumb drive for you with potential exhibits on it.
Okay.
Or I can share it with you by Dropbox link and with Ms. Oriani, whichever you prefer.
I have the same, I have exhibits as well.
Yeah, go ahead and exchange those exhibits, and I will just take those exhibits as they become relevant.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
There you go. Thank you.
Are you guys aware that a member that's in this courtroom right now has been pregnant? I just kind of letting the judge notice that a woman that's in the courtroom has been making, I don't even know how many videos then. She was like, Aunt LaLa, we're trying to keep it. And her name is Walsh. You know, she's threatening. I just don't want to first know. The judge said before she didn't want to be a mockery and this is serious, so I take it serious that someone may probably harm Preston for things that I'm just so I just want you to know about it.
Okay. I appreciate you confirming.
And I was just planning on sharing the drop off.
All rise. Court is now in session. Thanks, folks. Go ahead and have a seat. And if we're having some productive conversations, why don't you continue to have them, or would you like me to step out of the room?
Your Honor, I think that they are not particularly productive.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, last time, there it is. Last time we were here, I was very hopeful that y'all would be able to settle this. Not that I mind. I actually love trial work. That is my passion. That's the reason that I went into the area of law. But when we're dealing with people's lives in just a civil matter, it just seems like these are matters that can be solved. I'll remind everyone there is no recording of any kind, audio, visual. That's very important that we have one record for court, and that be the transcript of court proceedings. So at the end of the trial, you may order a copy of that transcript if needed, but that will be the record. So, Ms. Oriani, you don't think there's any chance of being able to resolve this outside of a trial, huh?
I was hopeful to resolve things outside of trial.
Okay. Do you want a little more time to talk?
I also just want to file a motion here to dismiss the temporary order.
Well, that's what we're here today to do.
Yeah, I just had a support brief. And they told me that I could turn it in here today.
Well, you can. When am I supposed to read it? We were scheduled to start 18 minutes ago.
I actually tried to file this a couple different times with the e-file and then actually in person. And it said that it wasn't the right format. So I went ahead and made sure that it was in the right format. So.
I'll take it, but I'm not going to consider it. It's not timely. So for the records, this has been filed. It's filed 18 minutes after our scheduled trial.
Your Honor, to the extent that is uploaded onto the online filing system, I request that it be uploaded as suppressed. It contains very confidential information about my client that would not normally be publicly available.
Then it will be put under suppressed. I'll go ahead and just mark it as such. And the record will reflect that this will not be considered as not timely. All right, Ms. Oriani, I just want to say that this is one of the reasons that I was hopeful that this could have been resolved since we were last here, only because of the difficulty in representing yourself. Should you have chosen to get an attorney today, that attorney well versed in the filing of things and in state as opposed to out of state. And we're about to start a trial, and I need to tell you that the rules of evidence absolutely apply in this courtroom. And I am fearful that you are not well versed in those rules and are going to be frustrated. You sure you don't want one last opportunity to talk with counsel before we get started today?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have one preliminary matter to address.
Okay.
Your Honor, something happened last night that I believe constitutes contempt of the court's 228 order regarding attempted service upon Ms. Walsh's daughter, and also a violation of the protection order in general, but more specifically of the court's order. And there are two people here who are witnesses to that. We did not have an opportunity to subpoena them, and so I'm requesting that the court order them to stay in the event that testimony is needed on their behalf. One is Ms. This happened last night at around 5 o'clock, and so it just wasn't possible for us to subpoena them for the hearing today. And I would be happy to address the contempt matter up front, or because
Well, you haven't filed a contempt, and it's going to be contempt outside the presence of the court, so that's going to need to follow the contempt path. Now, or if these are two witnesses that you wish to present, are these?
Yes, Your Honor, but this event didn't happen until last night.
Sure. But if they are somehow relevant, I don't know. If relevance can be established for them to be witnesses in your hearing today, in the trial today, then I'm going to order that they stay.
Yes.
Could I have both names, please?
And so she's in the hallway to avoid being around a bunch of people. Perhaps she could just come in to hear the court say that, and then both of them could be sequestered.
All right. Well, good morning. That you remain in the courthouse under court order as a witness in this case. So please know that. And officer, could you go out in the hallway and call for was Ms. Briefly come in the courtroom so that I can also give her that same order. Thank you. Ms. Abeda, I don't need you to do anything, but just stand right there. I just wanted you to come in here briefly. I understand you're not feeling well, and I appreciate you being here. You are a potential witness in this case now, and I am going to order that you remain in the courthouse at least until the plaintiff's case in chief is over, at which time then I'm going to ask plaintiff counsel if, in fact, your presence is still required, but just to remain in the courthouse, okay? Additionally, the court is going to enter a sequestration order for any and all witnesses. So let me go ahead and take your list of witnesses, counsel.
We only have Ms. Walsh, who I believe is permitted to stay.
Okay, and Ms. Oriani. Who are your witnesses for today?
There's no witnesses for today.
Okay. Do you want to testify?
Nope.
Okay.
Also, Your Honor, I would like to make it known that there is a party in the gallery that has made threats on my life that's actually here watching, and she goes by the online name Aunt LaLa, the Drunken Cupid, and her real life name is Alicia Ferreira.
Ms. Oriani, how is that relevant?
I just want to know that somebody that's in the courthouse here is a public figure to report for YouTube, and who's not made
That's absolutely who's in the gallery is not relevant unless they're a witness. I'm not going to have a circus in this courtroom today. This is going to just be about the elements of the protection order in the state of Colorado and whether this court makes a finding by preponderance of the evidence to satisfy that. And I'm not going to get into. I know y'all have talked a lot about this blogging. I still don't even understand it. So we're going to keep it as simple and as basic as possible. That's what the law is supposed to be about. So with that, ladies, I'm going to excuse you as witnesses, and you're not. The sequestration order is you're not to talk about the case out in the hallway either. So talk about the weather and the Broncos. I don't know that you're Bronco fans. I don't think you're from Colorado, but
I'm going to go shopping later.
there you go. Talk about shopping and shoes and fun stuff, puppy dogs, and kittens. I actually heard a report that people that will take a look at those 60-second videos on their phones of kittens actually have a better or a higher satisfaction rate and happiness level. So that's a good thing to take a look at. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and let me have entry of appearance from counsel, and please introduce those people at your table.
Jennifer Zimmerman and Sydney Dolan appearing on behalf of petitioner Ms. Vanessa Walsh.
All right, and Ms. Oriani, go ahead.
Yes, Oriani, pro se.
Thank you. Under Colorado Revised Statute 1314-106. To summarize, if at the hearing the magistrate finds by a preponderance of the evidence that the respondent or the defendant, in this case that's Ms. Oriani, has committed acts constituting grounds for the issuance of a civil protection order, and that two, unless restrained, will continue to commit such acts. Or acts designed to intimidate or retaliate against the protected person, the magistrate shall, in other words, must, order the temporary civil protection order to be made permanent. Okay, so that's what that's the standard that we're dealing with here today. Okay, preponderance of the evidence. It just means we're just weighing on the scales of justice and you to commit. Statute 1314-106. To summarize, if at the hearing the magistrate finds by a preponderance of the evidence that the respondent or the defendant, in this case that's Ms. Oriani, has committed acts constituting grounds for the issuance of a civil protection order, and that two, unless restrained, will continue to commit such acts. Or acts designed to intimidate or retaliate against the protected person, the magistrate shall, in other words, must, order the temporary civil protection order to be made permanent. Okay, so that's the standard that we're dealing with here today. Okay, preponderance of the evidence. It just means we're just weighing on the scales of justice, and one side is just tipped ever so slightly in favor of the prevailing party, whoever that might be. So with that, Ms. Zimmerman, who's your first witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. We call Vanessa Walsh.
All right, Ms. Walsh, come on up to the witness stand, please. And I don't care if you're sitting up or down, it doesn't change the oath, but raise that right hand. Under the penalty of perjury, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, go ahead and have a seat.
Your Honor, may I approach with a thumb drive?
Okay, you may. Now, I'm not going to consider it until it is made relevant.
Understood.
That's how it goes with all evidence. Every single piece of evidence needs to be brought to the court's attention and pass that relevant standard before considered. Go ahead.
So, Ms. Walsh, I want to start out talking about something that happened last night. Can you tell me what you were doing last night at around 5 o'clock in the evening?
I was at my home, actually preparing stuff for today.
And did someone come to your door?
Yes. Friends of Miss Oriani.
What did they do?
They were driving up and down the street, which is why I noticed them in the first place. Really slowly, like they were looking around, pulled up in front of my home, got out, took pictures of my home, banged on the front door, and left something on my front door.
Did you at some point open your door and see what it was?
Yes.
And what was it?
The subpoenas for my husband and my minor daughter.
Did you see the car that the people were driving in?
Yes.
What kind of car was it?
It was a dark blue BMW. I think it was X5. And,
And did you see the person driving it?
yes.
Who was the? What did you do next?
Well, my daughter was home. She was upset, so I called police.
And did you at some point log on to the internet?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't understand the relevancy of what two people that, I don't understand the relevancy of this.
Your Honor, I'm laying foundation.
All right, these are foundational questions. I'm going to ask you to maybe speed that up. Ms. Zimmerman, I appreciate this, but I know who Ms. Walsh is that she is the plaintiff, but we're dealing with no foundation so far.
Right.
Go ahead.
When you logged onto the internet, what did you see?
I saw Miss Oriani on a live, and it stated that she was going on a mission on live.
So, Ms. Oriani was broadcasting live, and can you tell me again what Ms. Aveda said?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
That's hearsay.
Your Honor, it goes to the impact on Ms. Walsh.
Still hearsay.
Your Honor, it's not for the truth of the matter asserted. What I believe she said is that she was going on a mission.
Your Honor,
What it relates to
Hold on.
is the fact that she was essentially stating on a live video from her own home that she was going, while in the presence of Ms. Oriani, that she was going to Ms. Walsh's house.
So why isn't that truth of the matter asserted?
Because it's not that she was going on a mission. It's that what Ms. Oriani is stating is that she doesn't know these people. That is literally what she said. And she was staying at Ms. Aveda's home.
All right. Ms. Oriani.
Your Honor, I never stated that I did not know these people. Ever to counsel. Counsel and I talked in the private room, and it was about not having this hearing because she was going to charge me with contempt and I felt that she was trying to intimidate me, potential witness in this case.
No, I need an objection to the evidence.
I object to the relevancy of this, and
Okay.
me being on a live stream at somebody's home, I am not in charge of another person, and I had no idea.
The objection's going to be overruled for that reason. I'm going to admit it, not for whether or not, in fact, the person driving by the home, but solely for the purpose that it associates both people together, and that is the only reason that will be admitted. Continue.
So I'm going to direct the court's attention to what we have identified as Exhibit 10G. And if I may approach the witness, Your Honor. Ms. Walsh, did you take that photo?
Yes.
What is that a photo of?
The subpoenas on my door.
And when did you take that photo?
Right after they left.
Is that a true and accurate representation of what those photos look like?
Yes.
Or what those papers look like?
Yes.
Your Honor, I request that the court admit Exhibit 10G into evidence.
Okay, Ms. Oriani, do you have a copy of 10G?
I'm actually unable to see it because this isn't loading out. It's and that's 2 pieces of paper.
Correct.
What's the piece of paper underneath the other paper?
I'm just asking if you object to this photo being admitted based on what Ms. Walsh said it was.
Well, I can't tell what the second paper is, so it's Mrs. Walsh's interpretation of what the second paper is.
All right, now that objection is overruled. 10G will be admitted.
Now, and actually, Your Honor, may I just stay up here to go through a couple of exhibits with Ms. Walsh?
Sure.
Okay, now I'm directing the court's attention to Exhibit 10H. Did you take that photo?
Yes.
What is that a photo of?
The subpoena, sorry, I can't tell which one that is. That is, thank you. That is the subpoena for my husband.
And is that one of the papers that was included on your door?
Yes.
And did you take that photo last night?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate representation of what the paper on your door was?
Yes.
I request that the court admit Exhibit 10H into evidence. And I did provide Ms. Oriani a copy of everything on a flash drive. I can instead share it with her by Dropbox if she prefers.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
And if you could, since she indicated right now she doesn't have the ability to open that flash drive, if you could also just show her the picture on your screen.
I can look through this if it matters. Oops. I think it's
Yes. I can email it to Dropbox.
Okay.
That would be next to this.
So a subpoena went to her daughter. I have no idea, so I don't know. This is the first time seeing it.
The other one is a photo of the subpoena. Let me see.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I'm just sending a Dropbox link with the same documents that were provided to the court on a flash drive to Ms. Oriani at her email address labeled Just Jax. I'm now discussing with Ms. Walsh Exhibit 10E. I'm sorry, Your Honor, is 10H admitted?
10H will be admitted.
Now this is Exhibit 10E. What is this?
That is the second subpoena that is for my minor child.
Did you take that photo?
Yes.
When did you take that photo?
After they left yesterday.
Was that one of the papers that was left on your door?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate representation of the photo that you took?
Yes.
And of the paper that was on your door?
Yes.
I request that 10E be admitted, Your Honor. And I did just send a copy of this to Ms. Oriani, but I'm happy to show her a photo as well.
All right, Ms. Oriani, have you received that?
Yes, I just did, Your Honor.
Okay, so now you can access
Now I
it
can
on
look
your
at
phone. Okay.
Thank you.
Any objection under the rules of evidence?
And that was H, right?
10E?
10E and 10H. 10H is already. Oh, 10H was already admitted, so 10E.
Okay.
Did you have an objection under the rules of evidence, Ms. Oriani?
No.
10E will be admitted.
Now I'm going to address exhibits 10A through 10D. So, Ms. Oriani, or excuse me, Ms. Walsh, I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit 10A, 10B, 10C, and 10D. Can you describe to me what those are?
Pictures of Miss My Home.
When did you take those pictures?
I think it was around 4 p.m. yesterday.
Okay. And are those true and accurate representations of the photos you took?
Yes.
And is that the car that was dropping papers off at your house?
Yes.
Can you identify the individual in the photo marked 10D?
Yes.
Who is that? And do you know who's in the passenger seat?
Sarah.
I request that the court admit exhibits 10A through D into evidence.
Any objection under the rules of evidence through to exhibits 10A, 10B, 10C, 10,
No.
10D? All right. Those exhibits will be admitted.
Ms. Walsh, how did you interpret this as service of process?
No.
What reaction did this cause in you?
I was extremely upset, more stressed out as my daughter was home at the same time.
The two pieces of paper you said had your husband's name and your daughter's name on them.
Yes.
What was your understanding of why those were left?
Intimidation to not be here today, one last ditch effort or revenge.
Objection, Your Honor. Again, relevancy on all of this.
And that objection's overruled.
Okay.
Is this the first time that you interpreted conduct of Ms. Oriani's or other people related to her to be directed at causing you not to appear at the hearing today?
No.
When did that first come up?
As soon as she was served, the day after she was served, she posted a picture of my husband on her community wall. She also stated in a video that I only have one option, which is not to show up, because if I don't testify, this would be dropped.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm showing Ms. Walsh the exhibit that has been marked as Exhibit 8A. What is this?
That's a photo of my husband.
And who wrote the quote on it?
Miss Oriani.
Do you know when this was posted?
Yes. January 18th.
And did you take this screenshot?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate representation of the screenshot that you took?
Yes.
Your Honor, I submit Exhibit 8A into evidence.
Ms. Oriani, any objection using the rules of evidence?
No.
Okay, 8A will be admitted.
So, looking at this and reading from the quote, it is a photo of your husband, and it says, quote, "I'm looking forward to telling Sean the whole truth and nothing but the truth."
Yes.
Do you know what that was referring to?
It was her threatening me to, in my interpretation of it, but she was threatening me not to show up.
And how many days, do you know the date that Ms. Oriani was served with the paperwork in this case?
January 17th,
And how many days after that was this posted?
the next day.
So I'm gonna go back a little bit and talk about YouTube and the way that it's set up. So what is your current job?
I'm a YouTube creator.
Okay, what does that mean?
I create content regarding true crime.
Is that your full-time job?
Yes.
Okay. So can you explain to me the different components of YouTube and the way that a YouTube creator like yourself would interact with viewers or subscribers?
Yes. They can leave comments on public posts or on videos. They can also tag you, which is where they put the @ symbol and the name of your channel and notify you.
Okay. And what impact does it have if you are tagged?
It shows up on your feed.
So it notifies you.
Yes.
Is it akin to sending a direct message to you?
Yes.
Okay. Since January 17th, and Your Honor, I would like the court to take judicial notice of the fact that the affidavit of service in this case does indicate that Ms. Oriani was served on January 17th of 2022.
Let's just see. I have a return of service that was filed with the court on January 25th. We'll take judicial notice of that return of service. That does indicate service to the respondent in Franklin, Ohio, as of Monday, January 17th at 7:00 p.m. So noted.
So since January 17th, has Ms. Oriani tagged you in any posts on her YouTube page?
Yes.
And have those been videos or have those been something else?
Mainly community posts and videos.
And can you explain to me what a community post is?
So we have a certain number of subs. There is a tab on your channel where anyone can see. You can basically just post public posts, and anyone can go read them.
Ms. Walsh, can you explain what a sub is?
A sub is a subscriber. It's someone that subscribes to your channel, and that's your subscriber count.
Okay. And so as a person who does YouTube full-time as a job, how many subscribers do you have?
120,000, a little over 120,000.
Okay. How many, based on your personal experience, how many subscribers are necessary to be able to make YouTubing into a full-time job?
Probably, the more the better, but probably 100,000.
Okay. And how long has this been your full-time job?
2 years.
Okay. So I'm going to approach you to identify some additional exhibits. I am showing Ms. Walsh what has been marked as exhibits 8B, C, D, E, F, and G. Ms. Walsh, did you take these screenshots?
Yes.
And can you show me why you took these screenshots or what they depict?
Because she's tagging me and writing my name and tagging my brand in all of them.
And were these all taken after January 17th?
Yes.
Do you have the specific dates that these were taken?
I would have to look. Not offhand, there were so many of them, but they were after January 17th.
And are these fair and accurate representations of the screenshots that you took depicting your channel being tagged?
Yes.
And just to clarify, what is the name of your channel?
Unmasked.
Your Honor, I request that exhibits 8A through 8B through 8G be admitted into evidence.
You've got to lay more foundation, counsel. I don't find so far that they're relevant. I don't know who, there are these screen names. How do I link those with Ms. Oriani?
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's a link missing.
So there's a photo at the top. Who's that a photo of?
Ms. Oriani.
And what is her screen name at the top?
Truth and Transparency is the name of her channel.
Do you know whether or not that is with Ms. Oriani?
Yes, it is.
And how do you know that?
Because that's her channel and her photo is there next to her name.
And is she also writing about things that she got personal knowledge of?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, there's no dates to any of these posts as well.
I'm about to go through the dates.
Okay.
So I'm directing your attention now to Exhibit 8B. Do you recall the date that that was posted? And if it would refresh your recollection to look at the exhibit chart that you made in this case?
Yes, please.
Just read these quietly to yourself and then let me know if your recollection is refreshed.
Yes.
Okay. So what date was Exhibit 8B?
January 19th.
And then I'm looking at Exhibit 8C, where you are tagged at unmasked. Is that you?
Yes, that's me.
And then will you read the next part of that? Is that a direct question? Where it says, why did you stop showing how many total members you have on your
I
channel?
was reading the wrong part. Yes, it's a direct question to me.
Okay. And do you recall the date of that?
I believe it's January 24th.
I'm now looking at Exhibit 8D.
Okay, I'm going to back you up, counsel. There's something that's been blocked out, and I don't know why. On HC, and there was something on 8B too. I don't know why those markings are there.
So, Your Honor, these are, I believe those are notations. Did you write those notations?
No, she did.
Those were notations on the screenshot that were in the post posted by Ms. Oriani. I don't know the purpose of them, but that is the screenshot as taken.
With the Sharpie markings?
I know they look like Sharpie markings. I believe that they are electronic
Okay.
markups.
All right, continue.
So I'm moving on to 8D. Do you remember the date at 8D?
January 24th.
And is that your handle tag?
Yes.
And is that from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
On 8E, is that also from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And is that your handle tag?
Yes.
And what date was that?
January 24th.
On 8F, is that from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And there are a number of people tagged there. Is one of them you?
Yes.
And do you remember the date of that?
January 25th, 24th.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the document that you made about these?
Yes. The 25th.
And then 8G, is that from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And are you tagged in that?
Yes.
And do you recall the date of that? If it refreshes your recollection, you are welcome to look at the document.
January 25th.
Your Honor, I request that 8B through G be admitted into evidence.
Ms. Oriani?
No objection.
Okay. The court will then admit exhibits 8B through G into evidence.
So, Ms. Walsh, with these exhibits 8B through G, tell me what you experienced on your end when you are tagging with them.
When I pull up my channel for the day, it notifies me in the feed that comes up in front of me with your notifications. It's essentially like if you were to get a text, it comes through in your feed and it notifies you.
Okay. And does it notify you of the content and who it's from also?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you about some other videos that Ms. Oriani made at the time or shortly after she was served. Do you recall watching a video on January 19th of 2022?
Yes.
And do you recall the content of that video?
Could you show it to me?
Yes. I'm approaching with Exhibit A. I'm sorry, Exhibit 2A.
Yes.
Okay, and can you describe what this video is?
I believe the title of that one is Work With Me, and that is her talking about coming to Denver.
And
Ma'am, I had a tough time understanding you. Could you repeat that?
Let's try. It's a video that where she's discussing coming to Denver for the temporary restraining order.
Who is she?
Ms. Oriani.
Okay.
Your Honor, I request permission to play the video so that I can make sure it's what she remembers taking a clip of.
Well, when's the last time you took a look at that clip?
I would say maybe within the last week, but there's a lot of them.
Okay.
If you can identify this one based on the sort of identifying information, and
Yes.
is this a fair and accurate representation of the clip that you made for watching this video?
Yes.
And this was on January 19th?
Yes.
I request permission to play it for the court.
You may.
John for John Mouse, wasn't he? Here's the page I remember. Was he in the? Can you check your? You paid for it. Yeah, you paid for everything. Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys ever get involved with Facebook groups and stuff like that? No. Okay, so stuff like that.
No, I didn't. Your Honor, there are two things.
Okay. Everybody loves you on this channel. Just want to tell you what people are saying in chat.
Alright, I'm going to play this one more time so that what she is saying is clear.
Working on my aim.
So what she says in that clip is that she's...
Denver. I gotta go to Denver again. Working on my aim.
And just so the record's clear, Ms. Oriani is depicted saying, I have to go to Denver soon, I'm working on my aim, and then firing a Nerf gun rifle. Your Honor, I request that that be admitted into evidence as Exhibit 2A.
Ms. Oriani, any objection?
I object to the fact that that clip is out of context due to that it's like a 2-hour live. So it's completely out of context. Why was there a Nerf gun?
Okay, well, that is a valid objection. Why should the court only take this small excerpt?
Your Honor, we'd be happy to play the entire video. It's 2 hours long.
Okay, do you have that for the court?
I think I do have that for the court. And I think that would be not a great use of judicial time or resources. I think it is crystal clear that she's referencing going to Denver, that this is after the protection order was served, and that she says she's taking her aim. And so if she wants to play the entire video, I do have it. I'm happy to do that.
All right. Well, I'm going to allow that clip over the defendant's objection. 2A will be admitted. I do believe that the objection is well taken, but I think it goes more to the weight, not the admissibility of that evidence. And certainly, Ms. Oriani, if you would like the court to consider all 2 hours and would like to use the court's time for that purpose, then you may go ahead and admit that entire tape for consideration.
Thank you.
Go ahead, counsel.
Okay. Now I want to direct your attention, Ms. Walsh, to January 30th of 2022. And on January 30th, did you watch the video posted online by Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And did that video address your husband?
Yes.
Do you recall what it said?
Yes. She had just returned from Denver. She said that she wanted to subpoena my medical records and subpoena my husband as well.
Your Honor, may I approach for purposes of identification?
You may.
I am showing you a video clip that has been marked as Exhibit 6A from the date you just mentioned, which was January 30th. Is this a true and accurate representation of the video clip that you made from that day?
Yes.
Did you personally make this?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I request that Exhibit 6A be admitted. I'm happy to play it first if Ms. Oriani first.
Any objection to 6A?
If you want me to play it first, that's fine.
Yes, can you put that, please? Thank you.
So guess what I'm doing? Just because. On Wednesday, I'm filing a motion.
Sorry.
For a change of venue. It's a long shot, but fuck it. Number one, change of venue. And number two, I'm paying money to send out my first 2 subpoenas. And you do understand, when you're subpoenaed, you have to show up. Otherwise, there'll be a warrant out for your arrest. First subpoena. Vanessa's husband, Sean Walsh. Second subpoena. Vanessa's medical records. With a chance. And I'll be serving that subpoena at her husband's work.
Your Honor, I request that Exhibit 6A be admitted.
Any objection, Ms. Oriani?
Once again, I object. That's a clip from a probably 6-hour live and taken out of context.
And Your Honor, I respond in the same way, which is it is very clear what she's talking about. She's talking about subpoenas in this case. I do have the full 6-hour clip. I am happy to play it for the court if that is what Ms. Oriani would like.
No, I will rule similarly. We do have a rule of completeness. The court does not have the time nor the resources in this hearing to listen to all 6 hours of that. Ms. Oriani also has access to that same tape and can play what she believes is necessary, and she may do that during her court time. I think everything else really goes to the weight and not the admissibility. So, Ms. Oriani, when you talk about it being taken out of context, you can choose to testify as to what that content, what that context is. You may also, on cross-examination, inquire. So,
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to allow that exhibit. So 6A will be admitted.
So that was from a 6-hour live video, right?
I believe so.
Ms. Oriani, during that 6-hour live video, mention any reason that the video had been that long?
Yes, she did.
And what did she say about that?
She said that she was making the lives long so that my attorneys would have to watch them and it would cost me money.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 7-2A. Did you take this clip
Yes,
and did you mark it?
yes,
Is this a true and accurate representation of what you marked?
yes.
I'm going to play it now for the court for Ms. Oriani.
Wait, I'm curious to know the bill that it has cost to this point, with them talking about the hours of footage that they would have to go through. I mean, can you just imagine if Chris Watts's Chris Watts's his attorneys would have done this? Can you imagine if Frederick would have done this? Can you just imagine if Frederick would have done this and was very what's the word I want to use? Thorough. Can you just imagine that? We wouldn't be here. But all these hours that they're going to put into this investigation.
I'm now playing the related clips of 7-2B through 2D from the same broadcast.
Do you know if it would be public information to find out what that bill would be at this point? How many hours have been put into, watching? I mean, I'm just saying, if I was in Mod Squad's position, I would be, on the phone with my attorney saying, I can't have you spend $10,000 on watching footage. This is going to cost, and I can't go forward with that. And $10,000 would be right around 30 hours worth of footage. Well, we know I like to talk, and I'm talking a lot right now for a reason.
So Ms. Oriani in that clip, or Ms. Walsh in that clip, Ms. Oriani refers to Mod Squad. Who's that?
She's using that in place of my name.
How do you know that?
Because she says it at the beginning of the video, and she also slips up multiple times through the video and says my name unmasked.
So I'm now showing you Exhibit 7-2C.
I mean, all I know is that it's getting for attorneys another 6 hours worth of material to go through. Great live now. This is insane. This is insane. Apparently emojis are coming. It's just now. The best is when I hear from Callie and she's like, who are these people? Thought me and Callie were cool. I don't know. I guess you're cool with everybody out now. Thank you. It's a very long live. 6 hours. God, they're gonna have to go through a lot of material.
Now I'm playing 7-2D.
$55 hours and 58 minutes. If I eat one more pickle, it'll be the 6 hours. And that is at least $1,800.
Your Honor, I submit Exhibits 7-2A through D into evidence.
Ms. Oriani, any objection?
No objection.
The 7A,
7-2A.
7-2A, boy, we've got a lot of numbers here. 7-2B, 7-2C, and 7-2D will all be admitted, but counsel, you're going to need to show the court the relevance of eating a pickle on.
Your Honor, I don't believe that the pickle is the relevant part. I think the fact that following service, Ms. Oriani was endeavoring to cost Ms. Walsh money is part and parcel of the harassing behavior in this case.
All right, well, that goes to the weight, but not the admissibility. I think it meets the threshold of admissibility, but that's going to need to be all stitched together in an argument.
Understood, Your Honor. Your Honor, one moment, please. So I want to go back to the previous clip we saw regarding a request for your medical records. Was that the only time that following service on the 17th that Ms. Oriani did a live broadcast related to medical records for you or your family?
No.
Was there another time that she discussed medical records related to your husband?
Yes.
Okay, and did you take a clip of that?
Yes, I did.
I'm showing you a clip that has been marked as Exhibit 7E. And is that a true and accurate representation of the clip that you took in this case?
Yes.
Do you recall the date that was aired, or would it require you to look at a document to refresh it?
I need to look at a document.
I'm going to play Exhibit 7E.
Has your husband had any procedures done? Any in the past 10 years? Any procedures? Would your husband be surprised or shocked if he was asked? They would object to that, and it would be overruled. So I'd have to rephrase this question, which would be, husband, fiance, business married, yeah. Have you had any? Has he had any surgeries, any procedures done on him in the past 10 years? Mod Squad, is your husband able to get you pregnant? So he hasn't had any procedures that would, that you would be able to get pregnant. Objection. Relevancy. Well, this is going in terms of the possible fear that Mod Squad would have if she was to be pregnant and then find out that her husband can't possibly be the one to get her pregnant. Would her husband know that she was having an affair that way if that came out?